I'm pretty sure the original title for this movie was Killing Them Slowly, in high definition, in painstakingly graphic detail. They just couldn't fit it on the poster. Killing Them Softly is actually the name of the movie. Brad Pitt, probably the name you know most from this movie, and it's a gangster movie about a gangster plot that goes awry and what happens when everybody tries to find out who did it and what the consequences are. And I'll just say those consequences are very violent. Well, it's a gangster movie. It is in the realm of gangster movies you've seen before as far as the violence and everything like that goes. What's different about this movie is kind of the way it's presented to you. It's a little bit of a different format. It doesn't feel like gangster movies of before. It kind of feels a little more like an independent film that's also a gangster movie. The characters are characters you've seen in these types of films before, and they're serviceable for the most part. Brad Pitt does a great job playing Brad Pitt as a gangster. I think he's a good actor, but in this one he's not doing much work. And what's interesting is he shows up about halfway into the movie. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but he's not in this for a while. And for somebody who's kind of supposed to be the star, that was a little interesting to me. And one of the things I really didn't like about this movie, and the reason overall I think I didn't like this film, is I'm not sure who the star is. Not only that, I'm not sure who I'm supposed to identify with, who I'm supposed to root for. There's no protagonist in this movie. There's nobody for me to latch on to get through the story. Brad Pitt's character might be it at times, then there's another character who you think it is, but overall, there's just nobody really to kind of be your proxy in this movie, and that has an impact on how the story lands on you. Also, the violence in this movie, I should mention, is very graphic and very much in slow motion. And if you are put off by violence and kind of more of the grotesque shootings or stabbings or those kind of things, just don't see it. It's got so much of that you will wince. In fact, there were a couple people actually that walked out of the movie I was in because it was so violent. Is there anything to like here? Yeah, I think so. The dialogue is witty and interesting, and I think written in an interesting way. I think some of the shot selection and the way this movie is filmed is done very cool and very interesting. And I think a lot of the praise that this movie is getting from critics has to do with how well this movie is presented and put together in that way. But overall, there are stretches in this movie that are just boring. There's not much going on that furthers the plot. In fact, this plot, I think, could have been a short film rather than a feature-length film. There's just not a lot there. And so it kind of feels like a short film stretched out to an hour-and-a-half length, and that leaves you feeling like you're wanting more, or I guess technically wanting less, I guess. Get to the point quicker. So that's my thoughts on Killing Them Softly, and overall a movie that if you looking at it kind of as a filmophile, somebody who loves movies, you might find some stuff to like, but if you're just going to see something, I don't think it's there.